Hello friends, we saw what is meant by associating with an experience and what is meant by dissociating away from an experience in the last video. As you know now, when you are associated, you feel you are part of the experience and you have all those feelings you had when you experienced it. Whereas when you are dissociated, you are no longer part of the experience. You are just a passive observer from outside the experience, and you don't have those feelings attached to the specific event from your past. If you want to lead a happy life free from the influences of the negative emotions from the past, what do you need to do? In other words, if you want to avoid pain or gain pleasure, which experiences are you supposed to get associated with, and which ones are you supposed to get dissociated from? This is the question. It is obvious that we need to get attached with the positive ones and we need to get dissociated from the negatives. Am I not right? But what do we normally do? Are we following that? No, not at all. We are doing only in the reverse order. If something good happens, we just enjoy it in that moment, and within a few days we even forget about that happy moment. But when something negative happens in life, we keep on rewinding and reliving at that moment hundreds or even thousands of times. We attach ourselves with the negatives a lot and we just forget about the positive ones just like that. There was a relative of mine who was around 85 years old. During his last days, he was lying in the bed most of the time. I asked him, what would you do while lying on the bed the whole day? He said, I used to rewind my life and analyze what decisions I made in life that went wrong and how it could have been handled better, and I keep worrying about how I missed seeing those better options then. See, he might have been rewinding his negatives till his maybe last breath. I asked one guy why he was not in good terms with his wife. He replied, we married 6 years ago. She is good only in the last 5 years. Before that, she was horrible, you know. If you were in my place, you would have run away in the first year itself. See which part of the life he has been reliving again and again and again all these years. And now he can't even enjoy the life that is in front of his own eyes. It is a well-tested formula to invite pain and get away from the pleasures of life and ultimately land in being depressed. For example, did you ever say or heard someone say like any of these? I still remember what you said some 20 years ago while we were driving from Madurai to your hometown. I can't forget that so easily. Okay? Even though we are leading a happy life, I can never forgive what you told your sister about me when we just got married. I have been a rank holder in the schools, but now I have arrears in almost all the subjects in the last 3 semesters. I am not able to concentrate on studies because of how the principal shouted at me for no fault of mine in the first week of joining this college. I have not lived my life happily with my hubby since I lost my mom some 5 years ago. Though they have accepted now, I am not able to love my parents wholeheartedly because they dragged for years to accept my love marriage. I can't forget that you didn't invite me to your first son's first birthday 30 years ago. Here, what we are doing is we are reliving in the negatives that happened in life. For example, the principal shouted once and he even might have forgotten that incident altogether. But the student keeps rewinding his life a number of times and reliving at that specific moment thousands of times. A simple act of watching it from a distance in mind it would have done good to his life. Even though the current life is a happy one, one guy kept on rewinding that one incident that happened some 20 years ago and reliving at that moment, and he is not able to enjoy the present. Here again, if he can take only the learning from that and move it to a distance in his mind, he would have been happier today, enjoying what is in front of us. We don't rewind and relive in our pleasant memories as often as compared to that of the unpleasant ones. See how our mind plays tricks in spoiling us. In other words, we associate with the negative experiences and invite pain instead of avoiding it, which is contrary to what we saw in our earlier videos on pain and pleasure. When emotional pain prevents you from healing from a situation, it is a sign that you are not moving forward in a growth-oriented way. If you want to lead a peaceful life, you should get dissociated from the negative memories to avoid the associated pains. And you should get associated with all the positives and happy moments in life to gain more pleasures today. Before going to see some examples, remember, while associating, you are reliving the old event, and in dissociation, you are just observing it from the outside. I have taken a few tips to let go of your negatives from the past. Here they are. How you talk to yourself can either move you forward or keep you stuck. We will see in another video about self-talk. For example, instead of getting stuck in why this happened to me, try saying to yourself, I am fortunate to be able to find a new path that is good for me today. We are taught to keep distance from the person or the situation that is causing us to be upset. So maintain a distance in your mind from the negative experiences of your life. That is, while dissociating, if you still feel those feelings, you need to move the movie screen to a distance so that it looks too small to even affect you. Instead of concentrating on the person or the event that hurt you in the past, be in the present and focus on what you are grateful for today. Like this, there are many tips that you can Google and find out. If you feel this video is useful, please share it with your friends and relatives groups. See you in the next video. Until then, bye bye.